Greetings, gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Perfect Date. We are in still the beginning part of Chapter 3, romancing our dear floofy butt with Danny, he of very little sleep. We are currently not far into Chapter 2, if I'm not mistaken. We've done one romance and one research. I guess we'll start with a recon. We've got Recon 6, the important fragrant pink letters Zane mentioned, and Recon 11. There's been a shipment of supplies delivered, and I have to get it all unloaded. Maybe I could get some info while I'm there. I've been asked to help with the loading and unloading of supplies today. This suits me, because I've been itching for the chance to talk to the ferryman and his son. I'm curious to see if they have any useful bits of info that might help me in my quest to find out the real story of this island. The boat only comes once a week and every other weekend. The weekend deliveries are all the good things: food, mail, treats, etc. The mood is always lighthearted. These midweek trips, on the other hand, are strictly work-related and tend to be very early morning when we're all a bit grumpy, or late at night when we're overtired. And less likely to ask questions? Today it's so early that the light is only just broken. Zane and I are waiting down on the jetty. They're late. Really? It's only 5 minutes. Bob's never late. It must be quite a long trip, though, to the mainland. You'd expect at least 5, maybe 10 minutes either way. Bob's never late. I remember that Zane isn't one for chit-chat, so I keep quiet and wait. Thankfully, it isn't long. I can hear the sound of the boat's engine before I can see it, since the morning mist hasn't been burned off by the sun yet. Zane straightens up, and suddenly they're here, emerging from the mists like a ghost ship. They've been doing this so long, it only takes them minutes to dock and tie off before we're stepping aboard. Right? Right. Another man of few words. I nod to Bob's son, Joe, and he nods back. I guess we're the same age, but he's huge. Problems? Few extra crates. Hold us up 5 minutes. Okay. Me and Bob will do the shifting, you two do the stacking. Until we come back with the outgoing, you stay aboard and sort out the incoming. Got that, Brainy? He's looking at me. Brainy? I'm totally excited that Zane has given me a nickname, but a little crushed that the nickname is Brainy. My least favorite Smurf. That's a lie. Brainy was my most favorite Smurf. I like nerds. Sure, you bring 'em, we fling 'em. I see that I'm the only one grinning like a fool. Joe knows what to do. You do as you're told. They've gone before I can say anything else. Joe has already started loading up the dolly with incoming crates. He's clearly an old hand at this. You look like you've been doing this your whole life. Family business? Move those crates there. They need to go off next. He sidestepped my question, but I'm not sure if it's deliberate, so I try a different tack. You don't go to college then, Joe? Nope. I'm not getting anywhere with this, so I changed to something less personal. Zane said you're never late, which is pretty impressive considering how far you have to come. This is like pulling teeth. How far is it exactly? You've done the ride, you should know. Quite far. Oh, really? Do you stop anywhere else en route, or are we your only drop-off? And suddenly, Joe has stopped what he's doing and is standing toe-to-toe with me, locked onto my eyes so that I can't look away. You have a lot of questions in you. My suggestion would be to keep them there on the inside. Don't do no good poking your nose into other people's business. I'm shocked by his bluntness. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I was just making small talk. You live with all them cats. Learn from them. My heart beats faster. I think he's gonna tell me something. All cats know. Curiosity kills them. He starts to laugh out loud. I just stand with my mouth open, not sure how to respond. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? And he laughs even harder. I'm feeling creeped out, and I'm really relieved to hear the two older men returning. Everything all right here? They have the crates to be loaded onto the boat. What's up with you, Brainy? You look a bit wobbly. Not got your sea legs yet? We were playing cat and mouse, Dad. Bob turns sharply on his son and shuts him up with a look. You don't want to mind him. He don't mean no harm. Best take what he says with a pinch of salt. I see a look pass between him and Zane and get the feeling there's a lot more going on here than I understand. You need to get back now, Brainy. We can take it from here. I want to ask to stay, be given another chance, but all three men are looking at me and I just turn and slink away. What do they know? What do they know about Cat Island? What do they know about the cats? What do I know about the cats? Let's do another recon. We got a bunch to get through. Recon 6. Intercepting mail. I can't stop thinking about those important, fragrant pink letters Zane mentioned. I've got to get my hands on one. Start. My only socks are red. I run through the sequence one more time. I know it by heart, but I'm nervous. I've been watching long enough to be sure that the routine is just like clockwork. No deviations. Well, apart from one, and I've made that work for me. So the boat arrives at 1300 hours. Zane, always alone, talks to the older man, Bob, who hands over the post, while the younger of the two, Joe, loads up the dolly with boxes of supplies. Zane puts the envelopes, never more than 3, into the breast pocket of his jacket. That solves the mystery of why he always overdresses whenever the boat comes in. He then wheels the dolly to the mess tents and unloads the food supplies, then to the lab and unloads the medical supplies, then to the storage hut where he unloads the remaining packages and leaves the dolly. Next, he goes to Professor Popper's tent. If the professor is in, he hands over 2 of the envelopes, keeping the third, his puzzler, in his jacket pocket. If, however, the professor isn't in his tent, Zane makes his way back down to his chair on the dock, drapes his jacket over the back of it, and spends the afternoon on his puzzles before going back again in the evening to deliver the professor's mail. He never lets the envelopes out of his jacket pocket or the jacket out of his sight. So my only opportunity would be to pickpocket the security guard when he takes his jacket off. But that relies on Professor Popper not being in his tent. Luckily, I've ensured, with the help of my feline friends, that the professor will be held up during his out-of-grounds inspection. Usually, Popper just meanders around the inner perimeter of the base camp area and checks that all is well. Most days, everything is. But today, Kibbles and Trixie have staged a little rumpus that will engage him for just enough time to miss Zane's delivery. He is, of course, set in his usual place, jacket draped over his chair. No, he's not. He's wearing his jacket. Hi there, Zane. 127. Aw, I haven't learned Brainy yet. Maybe I should have done this one first? I suppose we're on first name terms now. 2 chapters ago we were 125, so that is the number of research assistants that have been on this island. Quite a lot. I wonder how many of them are cats. More than 2, I'm willing to wager. I have a little something for you. Zane frowns, but does not look at me. His eyes are instead where they always are, on his crossword. I've made you a puzzle! He eyes me skeptically. A crossword, to be exact. It's pretty tricky, if I do say so myself. I created the puzzle using all of the cat's general knowledge. Major and McMurphy thought of some particularly treacherous teasers, while Kibbles and Trixie offered some great obscure pop culture questions. Snooty Booty was mostly just trying to get cat treats out of my pocket. I hand the paper to Zane, who's still frowning. This Dick's having a whale of a time. Is this a joke? Oh, it gets harder. Pun not intended, I'm sure. Zane peers over the crossword. Why did you make this for me? Well, you know how bored I get, and I like you, Zane. Zane breaks into the first smile I've seen on his face, although small and slightly uncomfortable looking. I don't have anything for you. Yes! He's warming to me! This plan is going spiffingly! Oh, don't worry about that. All I want is for you to complete it. Me with my happy little sleepy eyes. I make my hands into a heart shape while Zane is distracted. I feel stupid, but McMurphy insisted that would be my signal for him to strike. And sure enough, along he slinks, cool as anything. Yeah, McMurphy would want a heart signal. It's my code! He winds his feline body between Zane's legs, unnoticed. Zane's tongue is now sticking out and his shoulders are hunched in concentration. You stuck already? I dart to look at McMurphy getting ready to make his move. He throws me a disconcerting wink. I guess it would be pretty disconcerting if a cat winked at you. It's not that hard. Just this one about the archetypal counterpart to Yandere? Oh yes, that's quite niche, Yandere. Thanks for that one, Kibbles. Kibbles is an otaku. Kibbles is an otaku. While I engage Zane, I can see that McMurphy has already reached up as though stretching against the chair and nudged his nose into the inside breast pocket of the jacket. Oi! Shoo! Get out of it! I see McMurphy scamper off and my heart sinks. Anyway, I'll check back later, see how you're getting on with it. Acting, Danny, acting! Zane grunts in response. Good thing Zane's not paying attention. I walk back dejectedly to where McMurphy and I had agreed to meet after our mission was over, and suddenly my spirits lift at the sight of a little pink corner peeking out from under the designated rock. McMurphy, you're a star! Oh, there's no end to my talents. I snatch up the envelope, say goodbye to McMurphy, and head to the privacy of my tent. I examine my trophy while the kettle boils. I'm touched by the pretty pink envelope and delicate fragrance and feel suddenly embarrassed. Am I prying into the professor's love life? What has gotten into me, getting notions of secret goings-on and subterfuge? You tell me, guy that's turning into a cat. I'm about to put the letter back when I'm overwhelmed by curiosity. I wonder who the professor's secret love could be. What are they like? Woman? Man? Other? Before I can contain myself, I have steamed open the flap and am peeking inside. It's not at all what I expect, and my previous suspicions come flooding back. This paper is in stark contrast to the pretty pink wrapping. It's a typed message on white paper. Percival, I have been informed of your latest subject. I would rather hear about such things from you personally. It would not be wise to take my silence for authorization. Please keep this in mind for future transactions. I will let this indiscretion slide, but if it is ever repeated, I will have no choice but to deal with you the way I dealt with 124. That's the one before Lydia, if my numbering scheme is accurate. What did you do to 124? As for the project, Case Study 6 is asthenic. Please act accordingly. P-103 has been unsuccessful. Void any further investigation. That's the cream! So proof we are working for a cosmetics lab, at least in part. Lab 09 has received the newest batch, protocol to begin on the 8th. Finally, I trust your new assistant has arrived and is proving to be more helpful than the previous one. I don't think I was that bad. We seem to have had a run of bad luck in that particular area. Hey! Screw you, anonymous person! As you know, I do not abide bad luck and will expect a reversal of fortune post-haste, because that's totally something in his control, whether or not I'm secretly doing the bidding of cats. Faithfully yours, 7. Interesting, guys. We've learned a lot of good stuff today. We learned he works for a mysterious company that numbers people. We are testing cosmetics on the cats. We've learned Percival has a new test subject. I wonder if that's Ravenpaw, who we only just met. Or if he got one after Ravenpaw, and that's why we're taking care of her now. Interesting, guys. Very interesting. Let's do another romance. Let's lighten it up a bit. Now, Floofy Butt is basically the opposite of Snooty Booty. And I've had a little bit of foreknowledge from my brother, shout out to River City Random, that he does not like it when you suck up to him. So to get on his good side, we're going to have to not agree with him. This should be interesting.
Do hold your hands still, Danny. I can hardly see a thing with you shaking like that.
I hold the binocular stable in front of Floofy Butt's tiny cat face. He looks ridiculous.
It's like you're not even trying, Danny. You're shaking like a leaf.
My hands are totally steady, Major. Ever consider it could just be your eyesight?
I'll have you know I have the keen eyes of a goat.
Keep him in a box under my bed. Goats aren't exactly known for their vision, Major.
That's just because the world is full of ignorami.
Well, what can you see with your goat eyes, Legolas?
I can only see a couple of mulers, lazing about, of course, scratching at their fleas. Filthy things, I tell you. Aha!
What? What is it?
One of the bigger ones is emptying its bladder. That could mean that they do eat and drink on a regular schedule.
And?
If we were able to find out where their water supply is, we could lace it with a mild sedative, bring the incapacitated sample to the beach, and...
Please don't finish that sentence. No cats will be harmed during this mission. No cats were harmed during the making of this video game.
Oh, please, the subject will not be harmed, just slightly bewildered for a day or two.
But why, Major?
Well, to examine it for a start.
Also, I should like to see how they react when one of theirs goes missing for a change. Major, I only agreed to help you with this on the promise that you will not attempt to extract any kind of retribution on the elders. Examination is one thing, but if you can't keep your end of the deal, then I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to withdraw.
Okay, I'll just observe.
I replaced the binocular in front of Floofy Butt's keen goat eyes.
Well, what do we have here?
Found something?
I do believe I have. There's a few elders who seem to be meditating.
Meditating? Are you sure they're not just sleeping?
Take a look, will you? Tell me they aren't meditating.
Hey, we've seen this picture before. From the last one, I think. Not with this music, though. I adjust the binoculars to suit my eyes, and I'm quite taken aback by what I see. Floofy Butt is right. The cats aren't sleeping. They're sitting in a circle around what is by far one of the stranger landmarks on this island. A large statue of Bastet. Professor Popper has always dodged my questions about what on earth a statue of the Egyptian cat goddess of war is doing on this island. I'm even more intrigued now. The cats seem to be listening, or contemplating, or even meditating. Well, Major, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation for their behavior. Cats often behave quite strangely, I've found.
Well, there's strange, and then there's strange. And my experience teaches me that the type of strangeness that this class are afflicted with is beyond acceptable. I believe the only way to protect us all is total disassociation.
Major, do you hear yourself? We're here, practically trespassing on their territory so that you can spy on them while they're doing whatever it is they're doing, and you want disassociation from them?
One must know one's enemy, Danny.
How are they your enemy, Major? They've never done anything to you.
Oh no? Those Muellers are wholly responsible for the problems on this cursed island, and it's about time they were held accountable. They're the carriers of the cat virus. If it weren't for them, you wouldn't be afflicted with the illness.
Oh, is that so? Because I distinctly remember it was you lot who deliberately put me in danger in the first place. The others are cats. Just cats.
Just cats, eh? Oh, I see.
I realize what I've just said, and although I didn't intend it the way the Major has taken it, I can see how wounded he is. I feel conflicted. On the one hand, I want to take a stand against his bigotry. It is not helping our progress, and I believe it may end up ruining our friendship. On the other hand, I know he has a good heart. As Trixie says, he's just stuck in his ways, and it would be wrong of me to start pushing my views onto him. Perhaps I can lead by example and practice a little more tolerance myself. So this is what my brother was talking about. I think the correct choice in this instance is going to be stand up for what I believe in. You know exactly what I mean, Major. Don't add me to your list of enemies.
Oh no, you're not my enemy, Danny. I'm just very disappointed to find out that you are as gullible as the others, believing those creatures to be harmless, that we ought to embrace them with open arms.
Those creatures? Major, please, you must stop this ridiculous thinking, or I may have to disassociate myself from you.
Oh, really? I do not understand how such a seemingly intelligent human can be so narrow-minded.
This is fun. I could say the very same about you, Major.
Me? Narrow-minded? I've never heard anything more ludicrous. Look at how big my head is. I have a voracious appetite for
the things that interest you.
Well, yes, but isn't that the case for all of us?
As a scientist, I need to explore beyond what I want to know, beyond what suits my sensibilities.
Well, here I am, Danny, exploring what I don't like one bit.
He has a smug look on his face that is very annoying. Have you ever tried communicating with the elders? Floofybutt scoffs loudly.
Scoff! Those Muellers do not share our language, Danny. How exactly do you expect me to communicate with them? The very notion is laughable.
Oh, is it? Here I am, Major. A human having a two-way, somewhat intelligent discussion with a cat. Is that not laughable, too? Floofybutt goes uncharacteristically quiet. I sense I've hit a nerve and decide to retreat. Perhaps we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, Major, or we'll fall out entirely.
Quite. Thank you for joining me, Danny, but I can manage from here. Your assistance is no longer required.
Oh, okay, Major. I'll just put your binoculars here then, shall I?
As you wish.
I place them on a little patch of grass and step away. Floofybutt eyes them, and I watch his expression change as his dilemma dawns on him. No thumbs! No thumbs! He decides not to attempt using them while I'm watching. I'll leave you to it then.
Yes, thank you, but I'm fine. I shall be doing other reconnaissance, and I'm better off alone.
I feel bad for him and don't want us to part on an argument. I'm on feeding duty today. I'll keep something back for you. Come and find me later when you feel hungry.
Thank you, Danny. Good afternoon.
He's clearly going to take a while to get over this, and I don't want to make things worse, so without saying another word, the tabby and I part ways. As I make my way back to camp, I go over what happened between us, wondering if I could have handled Major better. Although I may have hurt his feelings, I feel satisfied that tough love was the right way to go. There's no way our friendship could progress without honesty and respect. I have every faith in him, and that he'll come by later when his stomach's rumbling. I'm hoping that's the game's way of reassuring me I made the right choice. 'Cause that was quite an argument. Ooh, interesting rest, interesting rest. Now let me see. Is that everything I need? I refer to my mom's recipe. Nana's original granola amended by Mom. Large rolled oats, 4 mugs. Pumpkin seeds, half a mug. Sesame seeds, half a mug. Sunflower seeds, half a mug. Walnuts, roughly chopped, handful. Flaked almonds, half a mug. Pecans, roughly chopped, handful. Dried apricots, roughly chopped, handful. Dried cherries or cranberries, half a mug. Banana chips, half a mug. Sunflower oil, 2 tablespoons. Cinnamon, 1 teaspoon. Salt, 1 pinch. Honey, 4 tablespoons. Coconut shavings to garnish. That sounds like a delicious recipe, and I am definitely gonna have to save it. If anyone in the comments makes it, let me know how it turned out, okay? Oh wait, did I forget to order the coconut? I'm such a spaz. I rummage about in the supply box that arrived this morning until my hands find the bag they're searching for. Whew, coconut shavings are a necessity. Wait, even if I had forgotten them, I'm on an island with an abundance of fresh coconuts. Still getting used to island life. Yep. I set the oven to 150 degrees Celsius and leave it to heat up while I measure out the rolled oats. I have quadrupled the quantities so that hopefully it will last the whole summer. It seems vast compared to how much I make at home, but it would be disastrous if I ran out. Homemade granola is an absolute essential. I mix the dry ingredients, oats, nuts, seeds, and spices together in a large bowl, and then I add the wet, honey and sunflower oil, to form a golden, moist consistency. I've actually added a splash more oil than suggested. The mixture is feeling a bit drier than usual. Next, I spread it evenly on a baking tray lined with parchment, partly to save the washing up, and whack it in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, checking often because the seeds tend to burn quicker than I expect. The smell always drives me crazy. Toasty, warm, homey. I miss my mom. I miss my mom too. Once done, I add the fruit as it dries and cools and put it into several large glass storage jars, being sure to stuff fistfuls into my mouth as I do. And that is going to do it for us here today. Look at us doing great. We're at 40% of the antidote. I'm going to try to get through chapter 3 as soon as I can tomorrow, or possibly later today. But I want to make these episodes fairly short, so I'm going to cut this one here. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like if you like, subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell for the notifications. Don't forget to tag us if you made any of that granola, because it sounds delicious. And, as always, keep on gaming.